So this is here, allegedly. What do I mean by this? Dfinity developers made a post saying how ICP CLI version 0.2.0 is here. Now, nothing I say is financial advice, but what does this even mean? Now, basically, they say that this introduces several key updates to the local developer experience on ICP, so of course that's a pretty cool thing, right? But there are some aspects of this which I find to be pretty fantastic. Now, there's a bunch, but I'm just going to highlight, I think, the most important one to me at least, and that is multi-chain support. Now, allegedly, through this, right, managed local networks can now be connected with Bitcoin and Dogecoin nodes. And now people may be thinking, like, who cares about this? Well, first of all, let's think about this. Bitcoin is literally the biggest project out there that we have right now within this space, right? However, also on top of that, people like to say, Dogecoin, who cares about that? Well, okay, maybe people don't like it because it's a meme, some people may arguably say, but at the same time, Dogecoin is literally the most famous and biggest meme that we have as of right now within this space. So if we think about that, why is this a bad thing? If anything, I think it's actually pretty interesting and pretty cool. Keep in mind, did anyone really ask for this? I'm pretty sure some did, but not that many people, right? So if I still see stuff like this going on, do I really think ICP is cooked? No, I don't think so. If there's still some activity, I'm not going to complain at all. And here's the thing. People like to say, well, why didn't this move the charts when it comes to ICP? Who cares about this? Well, here's the thing. Maybe developers might care. Literally, this update, in my opinion, was catered towards developers, right? I feel like if there is something that could maybe improve the developer experience on ICP, I don't think it's a bad thing. Usually, if a lot of developers start building on a certain place, right? What happens? Usually, if what they build has good adoption, popularity increases. If popularity increases, what happens? Usually notoriety for the project also increases, right? So why is that a bad thing? It may not showcase it as of right now, but it could maybe matter later on, in my opinion. So this is why I personally just am still a fan when it comes to ICP. Now keep in mind, people like to say, well, who cares about ICP? They say again, it's cooked and all this because it's still below $3. But in my opinion, isn't that kind of sometimes the point for me though, right? If someone asked me, would I rather be happier dollar cost averaging into ICP at below $3 or if it's at above $3, preferably I'd like it if it's below 3. I can't control that, but if it happens to be the case, why would I complain? I mean, again, the charts being low is not good for one thing in my opinion. That's not good for exiting, personally for me. But other than that, if my intent is to dollar cost average, it doesn't feel like a bad thing to me. This is just the way to take a look at it, because it's like if I walked inside a store, would I like a discount or no discount? I like it better if there's a discount, right? I can't control that. I mean, the store is going to do its discount or not regardless of my input, but I'm just saying, if there happens to be one, I'm not going to complain. That's just the way to take a look at it. Now, if I have to exit at a discount, then yeah, of course, it's not going to be such a good thing. But if my intent is to enter, right, to acquire at a discount, then I'm not going to complain. That's just the way I take a look at it. So it's kind of no different, I guess, when it comes to this space, at least in my perspective. I just kind of view it the same because in real life, oftentimes people like discounts, but then when it comes to this space, sometimes it works in the opposite direction. However, to me, I don't think about it that way. If I like discounts in real life, I feel like I'd also hypothetically like it if I'm in this space. That's just the way to take a look at it. So ICP being below $3 is not a concern for me. If anything, it's a time for me to be more focused, right? Now, ICP has had a slight recovery, but I'm just saying, I just like to be more focused. That's just kind of my mindset. However, ICP at this point, people like to tell me, oh, are you going to be concerned if there is no altcoin season when it comes to ICP? What happens if there's no altcoin season? Here's just kind of my perspective, right? At this point, if we never ever even see an altcoin season, I'm not going to complain. The reason why is because if let's say the altcoin space just went back to like, let's say November of 2025, I'm not even saying, right, like December of 2024, let's just say November of 2025. What did we see when it comes to ICP at November 2025? We saw it reach almost $8, right? So we're basically 3 times lower than that, approximately. I mean, like, here's the thing. At that point, I don't even need a hypothetical altcoin season anymore. However, if let's say people are telling me, okay, November 2025, like that's too short of an example. Maybe they want to take a look at things a little bit farther. Okay, if I take a look at it a little bit farther, if let's say ICP went back to December 2024, right? For whatever reason. And keep in mind, I don't even need ICP to go back to that level to be happy, but I'm just saying if maybe it did, let's say around $14.50 that it reached. Again, just imagine, right now we're below $3, right? If it could go back to around $14.50, I'm going to Sizzler, right? I mean, I don't even need an altcoin season. If ICP just went back to November of 2025, I'm already happy. But if it could go even farther back to December 2024, I'd be happier. But either way, right, I don't think I saw an altcoin season in either of those instances. November 2025, in my opinion, was not an altcoin season. December 2024, I don't think was an altcoin season either. So if ICP could go either to around $8, around $9, let's say, or either it goes back to around $15, either way, I have no complaints. This is personally my perspective because first of all, Bitcoin is not around 3 times lower than any point it ever reached in 2025, right? Or let alone 2024. It's just not. When it comes to ICP, why would I give up? You know, some of my friends out there would be so happy if Bitcoin went back to like around 100 grand, in which case I think that would be pretty positive for this space overall. But I'm just saying, like the journey from 70 grand to like 100 grand, basically, I mean, how does that seem so like impressive percentage-wise? I'm not saying for the sentiment, but I'm just saying percentage-wise. Because if let's say ICP, for whatever reason, like held up at around $7 and went back to like $10, that would be considered so boring, right? But then at the same time, for Bitcoin, it's considered like very exciting, which I get it for the space overall. But if I was a holder just for percentage, you know, movement-wise, right? I don't know why I'd be so excited when it comes to that. But here's the thing, ICP is not around $7. It's below $3, literally. So if it just went back to like either almost around $8 or around $15, why would I complain about that? If anything, I'd actually find that to be a pretty happy time for me. You know, again, right? Some of my friends out there would be so happy holding at around 70 grand all the way up till around 100 grand when it comes to Bitcoin. But then suddenly, if ICP makes hypothetically maybe more of a movement percentage-wise, if the market maybe recovers, it's considered a bad thing? No, I don't agree with that actually. Because if some people out there are happy if Bitcoin made like a 10% movement or a 20% movement or whatever, why wouldn't I be happy if ICP made like a 200% or 300% movement, right? I mean, why would I complain about that? So this is why I just haven't given up. Again, I'm not telling anyone to do anything, and I'll be sure to make more updates when it comes to ICP moving forward. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a very nice day. It's Mali the Captain. I'm out. Peace. Bye.